Is Nike stock set to go to space in 2021, 2022? Well, it's not such a loony idea. And no, I don't say that because we all spent the past 14 months locked in our house, staring at an open fridge, wondering whether or not we should go for that third serving of pizza. And our mind is like, screw it, the world is ending, right? Just do it. To say the least, millions of Americans may be reaching for new Nike workout clothes this summer after taking their shirt off in public for the first time in 14 months. In today's video, I will talk about why Nike stock should take off later this year, why some investors have soured on Nike in the short term, and my plan with the stock in the near term. But first, if you don't mind, cow-tip the like button for this former calf maker and hit subscribe to make this old bull's dream of becoming the first bovine American to make a living on YouTube come true. Nike is set to take off later this year for two reasons. First, Space Jam: A New Legacy. That's right, it may be the last dance for Nike's number one, but number two is about to pad Nike's coffers. The original Space Jam, which premiered in 1996, took home $90.4 million in US ticket sales and $230 million internationally. But what most people don't know is how successful the movie was in selling merch. The Chicago Tribune in 2009 reported Space Jam had earned at least $1.2 billion in merchandise sales. But some industry insiders think the number could be as high as $4 to $6 billion. $6 billion in merchandise. That's a lot of Bill Murray jerseys. Warner Brothers is hoping to pull a Groundhog Day in merchandise sales by teaming up with 30 plus brands to pump out Space Jam 2: A New Legacy, including Nike. Nike will release Space Jam merch that includes uniforms featuring the Toon Squad and Goon Squad, varsity jackets, and a variety of shoes including the LeBron 19. Starting in July, leading up to the film's debut on July 16th. My personal favorite, the varsity jacket, so I can pretend I didn't ride the bench in every sport I tried in high school. But the merch bump for Nike should be much bigger than the 1996 original. In 1996, the NBA had a franchise in Seattle that was definitely not named after this hedgehog. Since then, basketball has exploded in popularity. The NBA today is streamed in 215 countries and regions in 50 different languages. According to the USA Today, now 1 in 7 people in the world, aka 1 billion people, now have access to the NBA Finals. And while LeBron and the Lakers may not be in it this year, you better believe consumers will be bombarded with Space Jam: A New Legacy ads featuring LeBron and a Nike Toon Squad jersey when the finals start on July 8th, just 8 days before the film's premiere. The movie also should have much more reach than in 1996. Space Jam: A New Legacy will be released to HBO Max's 44.2 million subscribers and debut in theaters on July 16th, just in time for America's heat wave. According to climate.gov, most locations in the contiguous United States should experience their hottest day of the year between July 15th and July 31st. So when you're cooped up in the house with your kids, what better way to get out of the house than to watch a family-friendly movie at your local AMC? Shout out to the apes community. LeBron is also expected to change his current number from 23 to 6 for the 2021-2022 NBA season to match the number he wears in the movie. The Lakers and LeBron have led the NBA in merch sales for the past 2 years. This chart from Interbasket also shows that James has led the NBA in jersey sales in 5 of the last 10 years, and according to the NBA is on pace to lead this year as well. Second, Nike stock is set to take off due to in-person sales. Nike has worked really hard on becoming a digital brand, with, according to Motley Fool, in the most recent quarter, digital sales jumped 59%, and that's following impressive performance in Q2, up 84%, and Q1, up 82% of this fiscal year. Revenue from digital channels now exceed 35% of Nike's business, well on the way to achieving the eventual goal of a 50% mix. However, as the pandemic wanes, it's hard not to believe Nike in-person sales should skyrocket, not only with Nike stores, but as attendance in nearly every sport returns to full capacity. The NFL, for example, had a total attendance of 1.2 million people in 2020 compared to 16.9 million in 2019. With things opening up, that is 15 million more opportunities for individuals to have Nike impulse buys featuring their favorite team. But the news for Nike shareholders hasn't been all great as of late. Vanessa Bryant and the Kobe Bryant estate chose not to renew its partnership with Nike. That was followed shortly after with an announcement from Simone Biles that she was leaving Nike for Gap brand-owned Athleta. There was also the Lil Nas X Satan shoe fiasco. Side note, if Satan wore shoes, I feel like he would wear something a little bit more protective than the Air Max 97s with all that fire and brimstone lingering around. Maybe some nice Timberlands. Finally, there was the Chinese-led boycott of Nike for the past statements criticizing China for alleged human rights abuses. A UBS analyst in April took all this into account when they dropped Nike's price target from $183 to $175. But according to Yahoo Finance and a note to investors, UBS said it believes the troubles for Nike across Greater China will be short-term. Pressure on the stock will dissipate as pressure on the brand will lessen significantly in the months to come as Nike moves to craft a coordinated marketing message response to its various audiences in a way that significantly reduces tensions. In other words, all Nike has to do is pull a John Cena and everything will be gravy. You may not be able to see John Cena, but if you look hard enough, you can certainly see China pulling the Cena puppet strings. Not to mention, the Los Angeles Lakers, according to the Mailman Group, happen to be China's most popular team online. And unlike Cena, LeBron has kept quiet about China's human rights violations. Former Universal Pictures co-chairman Brian Mulligan told the New York Post, "The movie is perfect for China, which has more people playing recreational basketball than any other country. And it would deny LeBron lots of money if it doesn't play there." So, being mum on human rights abuse is certainly not good for the 12.8 million Uyghurs living in northwest China, but it certainly helps Space Jam and as a result, Nike's brand recognition in China. Isn't capitalism great? I also don't see the loss of Simone Biles as a big deal. For Biles, Tokyo is her last Olympics, and with the recent scrutiny around the Olympics in general, and USA gymnastics in particular, I don't know how popular this sport will be for much longer. So what am I doing with Nike stock? Nike expects to release its earnings on June 24th, and analysts expect Nike to post earnings of 50 cents per share. I plan on waiting until after earnings to make my initial investment. We should know full well by then what, if any, impact China's boycotts has had on earnings. According to Yahoo Finance, the 6th month of the year is a key shopping month in Greater China, with Children's Day on June 1st and the 618 Festival on June 18th. UBS believes that Nike's sales will rebound during the month. Yahoo Finance goes on to quote the analyst, "Nike sales last June were 160% higher than sales in May. Our current forecast assumes sales rebound by June. If sales don't improve by then, we may revisit our view." So, if earnings miss, it might be a nice buy the dip opportunity for Nike's upcoming run. If earnings meet, then you know it's all aboard for the Space Jam rocket that no one sees coming. Nike has an average tip ranks analyst 12-month price target of $166.83, with 16 analysts rating Nike as a buy, 2 as a hold, and 1 as a sell. One 5-star analyst even gives Nike a $192 12-month price target, a whopping 45% upside. But even if Nike can get back up to its 52-week high of $147.95, it sets up a decent swing trade from its current price. Finally, if you watched all the way through, thank you, and if you don't mind sharing this video with others who might also enjoy this content.